The end of the Blue Lock vs Japan U20 match is the absolute pinnacle of the new wave sports anime.
This whole season was an emotional roller coaster, but the match was an almost perfect showcase of raw talent, intense rivalries, and the rise of a new hero.
There were some questionable parts, but there were also many breathtaking goals, intense one-on-one battles. This match possessed everything that makes Blue Lock such a captivating journey.
Let's dive into all the good, the bad, and every standout moment that truly defined this unforgettable showdown.
It's only right that we start with the first half and the beginning of the match.
All the events leading up to the U20 match was actually done extremely well. We had to see a little bit of the players getting ready for the match. Seeing the studio add that was a really nice touch to add hype for the U20 match. I thought it was also really cool that we got to see a little bit of the stadium tour and just seeing the audience get really hyped up.
I think they did a great job setting up the atmosphere. They did a really good job with building up the match. But of course, right after this, my hope quickly started to diminish.
Almost all the first few episodes of the match were tough to watch. They were very lackluster and even inconsistent at times. Unfortunately, a lot of those PNGs and still images were used during the gameplay, and it made some of the parts of the match feel kind of awkward to look at.
You could see a genuine drop off from the animation as soon as the ball gets kicked and the match starts. And I swear, this is one of my biggest gripes of this whole season, but they keep reusing that damn cursed Sai image. You know the one I'm talking about, the one where he has that hand on the hip and he just seems so robotic and stiff. That shit looks fucking terrible, and I hate seeing it. And now that we're actually talking about Sai, let's actually go into his moments, because almost the first half, especially his moments, were just so lackluster. Especially that weird fucking dribble move that he did between Isagi. It looked like he just levitated in the air, and that looked so fucking stupid because there was no reason for it to look that bad. It looked like nothing from the manga.
Almost the whole first half, especially the moments as mentioned earlier with the Toshi Sai, felt very weird, like his animation and impact on the screen. We say this because his first few plays seemed lackluster. I mean, he destroyed the field with his passing techniques, but for whatever reason, it just didn't leave much of an impact.
To double up on that, he scored the first goal of the game, and overall it just looked really weird, which is crazy because in the manga, it was this mocking, high-arcing shot that made everyone just think, wow, this guy is so good. But the anime, it just looked kind of goofy. Like, it didn't have any of that same impact at all.
Thankfully, the studio decided to turn things up a notch, because the only bright moment of the first half was Nagi's goal. There's not much that needs to be said about it. Nagi's goal was great, and it's probably what restored faith for the rest of the match.
I will say, Nagi's goal was actually really clean. His lift and tap, the jump turn, it was also clean, and then him striking that pose after, him introducing himself to the world was chef's kiss.
Yeah, like I said, this was definitely the moment that had everyone feeling pretty hopeful for the rest of the match. It was just enough to keep everyone invested to see what was going to happen in the future.
We didn't even mention Rin's goal, which was really ass. Rin's supposed to be the main character, or the second main character right now. Why is he not getting any love right now? I was really dumbfounded while watching that scene.
Episodes 6 to 9 were nothing to really rave about. There were some small glimpses of potential, but the overall product was just not it.
And we know this is not the fault of the animators themselves. We know this is a higher issue with the management and the production committee. There's a big shift in quality after that first half, and it was definitely because they decided to save a lot of the budget for the second half. All the best moments of the season happened in that second half. Let's move straight into the second half of this match.
Everything seemed to just level up. Shido's first goal was a perfect representation of that. It was very clean, and it was super refreshing to see a goal with actual movement. And the celebration was also done very well.
See him get some actual real animation and some shine. It really brought a smile to my face because Shido's supposed to be this demon of a goal scorer.
I agree with you. Almost every Shido scene during the U20 match was amazing. And one of my favorite moments was when Shido reached his flow state. It's easily one of the standout moments of the season.
That whole sequence was just immaculate. From the music, the art, his aura, seeing him charge up and unleash this banger bicycle kick. That goal was otherworldly.
And it almost made you believe that 8-Bit was probably getting on the right track again. But this is where we kind of go back to what we talked about before, where there is just a lot of inconsistency in this season. After this goal, quality dropped a little bit, but there were still plenty of noteworthy moments. One of them in particular is Yukimiya's street football sequence, and then of course getting followed up with Aiku's flow state.
I really loved his awakening. I think everything was done really well. I know Blue Lock's a story about strikers, but it was really cool to see a defender get some shine, especially considering his story about becoming a defender to destroy the mass-produced strikers.
We also got to show the goalkeeper some love. That handstand save from Gagamaru was absolutely clutch.
Yeah, Gagamaru is fucking incredible. Quick shout out to Reo as well, because right after Gagamaru's handstand save, he gets that really clean copy where he copies Nagi's jumping turn, and he does that clearance pass, and it just sets up Blue Lock on another counter.
And then we have to talk about another really important part of this match, barou. And honestly, you could just leave it at that. You could just say barou, and that's just it. 8-Bit. His introduction to the game was peak. Him going after Isagi, hunting and scoring that equalizer. I know all the barou fans were simply just eating good.
All these characters got such great moments. We also just gotta give credit to the writers because no one expected BLUELOCK to be this good, and I feel like once we hit this part of the season, everyone was just locked in.
And with episode 13, Isagi and Ren start off with their iconic inner monologue clash, both announcing that they will score the final goal and become the game's hero. Then right after all that, we get to see Sai finally show his true potential.
To see Sai actually portray his potential, his aura coming out, the numbers, and everyone just in fear basically once they see him, he's actually turning up and taking the game seriously. It made everyone see why he's a new generation 11 player and why the world wants to see him play so bad.
And of course, another standout moment was Bachira's monster trance. This is the biggest Bachira highlight of the match. The art direction here was really good and the dribbling animation was excellent.
I will say, I loved how they did his monster aura. Throughout that solo run, it was continuing to cover his body as he went on to just defeat players. And I might be biased because I also love Bachira, but I think that was the best dribbling sequence this whole season. The studio was actually able to portray Bachira's raw talent.
Definitely, Bachira's solo run was a true highlight. I still wish he was able to score that goal. Unfortunately, Sendo was able to stop Bachira there and keep the match going.
Sendo's proclamation to the world standard and saying he wants to marry a Hollywood actress was actually fucking hilarious. I didn't think it was that big of a moment in the manga, but I thought it was actually really good in the anime. Right after this monster trance in the block, this match decided to level up again, and we got to see this back and forth attack and defending from BLUELOCK and Japan U20 team. BLUELOCK desperately trying to stop the U20 team at all costs. We even get to see Rin play some defense, and he came out of nowhere and made this crazy block on Aiku. You would have thought Aiku was coming in and scoring the game winner.
But it doesn't really need to be said. Rin was balling out and stopping Sai from getting an assist at all costs. Isagi, inspired by this display, decides to follow Rin's lead and stop Shido from scoring. All that just pissed off Rin and pushed him into activating his destroyer state.
Everyone in the community was waiting to see how they're gonna do Rin's destroyer state. Never in my days did I believe 8-Bit was gonna cook this hard. The build up to destroyer state, his eventual breakdown, it was absolutely astounding. You could actually feel him starting to spiral into his own madness, and you can see true terror on everyone's face when they get to see this new version of Rin.
Plus, that moment when Rin flipped over Neo was just completely brutal. The anime did a great job showing Aiku was the one to stop Rin. Yes, he did have the help of Shido as well, but they did a great job showing Aiku's block.
While reading the manga, I did think that block was kind of underwhelming. It was just a quick flick off his toe and it seemed like it barely did anything, but in the anime, they really made Aiku seem like he actually pulled a big play, and it ultimately leads up to the final matchup, Rin vs Sai. And all I gotta say, as soon as you see those little black bars, you know the anime is about to fucking cook, and it absolutely delivered.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to agree with you there. Once I saw those black bars pop up on the screen, I already knew cinema was on the way, and I think everyone kind of had to get that feeling. And as you can see, the whole art, the animation direction took a complete and total change to truly make this moment feel special. I only wish that there were just more of these moments.
I was actually speechless watching this final matchup. There's so many questions on like, why didn't we get this earlier? We saw easily one of the greatest moments of 2024, and it came from an anime that everyone was writing off. Isagi's game winner was undoubtedly the best moment of the season. No, the whole show. Wait, no, the whole year. Everything from the luck piece showing up with everyone looking dumbfounded, the actual shot sounding like a fucking bullet, and then the quick cuts of Isagi and the anticipation of the ball hitting the back of the net. I felt like I was experiencing that moment all over again for the first time.
Without a doubt, it's the best moment, and it even gave us the most emotional scene of Ego Jinpachi yet. You can see him absolutely fired up. With all that, the season definitely ended on such a high note. It almost makes you forget about the rest of the terribleness that the season had. Almost.
I will say the overall art style and artwork for the season was really good. Everyone could tell in the first episode that that artwork had much more detail. Even though all the effects weren't the greatest and they didn't use it best times, the ending was a masterpiece.
The last two episodes definitely changed how people felt about the season as a whole, and you can see it with the ratings as well. After these two episodes aired, the ratings for BLUELOCK literally went up. It was enough to quite literally save the season. Looking forward for season 3, we got a couple little teasers of what to expect. We saw that Kunigami is back. We saw him leaving Wildcard, and it seemed like a lot of the anime onlys completely forgot about him. Even though we read the manga, we still have no idea what happened to him in the Wildcard, so we're just as clueless as you are.
Besides that, we got the real reason why everyone was so hyped up. This new mysterious player with the blue rose tattoo, the one who says he's gonna bring BLUELOCK to their knees.
That and the announcement of the Neo Egoist League, the next stage of Project BLUELOCK, and it seems like even more powerful people are gaining interest in BLUELOCK.
This next stage of BLUELOCK is gonna be even a level higher, more intense challenges challenges and rivalries. There's going to be a lot of emotion and a lot of hype coming into the Neo Egoist League.
But I guess now is a good time to talk about our overall rating for the second season. We came to a consensus that we would give this season a rating of 6 out of 10.
The only reason it's not even like a 3 or a 4 is because the last 2 episodes were almost perfect in every way imaginable. We can't forget the page turning effect back in the 3rd selection. The beginning of the match was still a lot of PNGs and bullshit slide effects to make it seem like they're moving when they're really not. Not even real animation on goals a lot of the times too. It was all really inconsistent as an overall product, so we can't give it a really good grade.
That second episode was so bad that it legitimately almost made me want to drop the anime for the season, but they came around towards the end. The final matchup between Sai versus Ren, and then leading into Isagi's game-winning goal, his celebration, it was just all done perfectly. We hope that if 8-Bit does the 3rd season, we hope that they spend a little bit more time and don't try to rush the NEL at all.
Yeah, I'm hoping they take their time. I'll wait 2 years if needed. I'll wait for that good product because I know when time comes around and it actually releases, I'll be that much happier to see a great overall finished product. I'd rather just see an overall just cohesive and consistent piece of work.
Right, I think the main thing a lot of Blue Lock fans want going into this 3rd season is consistency, because the lows for this season were incredibly low. Like, we were in hell, and then the highs of the season were just incredibly high. That truly gave it that roller coaster like feel. In the 3rd season, I would love to see a little bit more consistency across the board. Hopefully not consistency in hell, but maybe a middle ground.
With that being said, please let us know what you guys think in the comment section, and also let us know what you thought about the overall season, what you thought about the match, and let us know what your favorite and your least favorite parts of the season was.
And as always, if you did enjoy the video, please consider giving a like, comment, or subscribe to the channel. And as always, we do have a link to our community Discord, and that link can be found in the description of this video below.
Thank you for sticking to the end. It's Tev.
And it's Lotus.
Peace.